Hello, hello, beautiful souls of this community. How are you doing today? Welcome to today's live. You may see the title as finding out why I haven't been here recently and also what helped me get through that why. So welcome to today's video. I am Lori and I'm the founder of this group, and I am here today and every time that I come here to always share tips with you to help you become more empowered in your own space with your own tools that are available to you to help you live a healthier life. So welcome. Nice to see you here. If you're here, definitely say hi. Let me know you're here. You can always type in #live. If you're watching this live, it helps other people know that it's here. It boosts it in the algorithm. And also if you're watching on a replay, you can type in #replay. If you are watching this when it comes on to my YouTube channel, you can also subscribe and like that there as well. Again, just helps boost the algorithm and get other people knowing that I am sharing information out there that is helpful for everyone. So yes, I haven't been on here recently for a few reasons, one of which, well, I had a trip planned. I went to Canada to visit my family. So I was out of my own kitchen. Hi, Manuela. Nice to see you here. So I was out of my space. I was, however, still planning to be online, even though I wasn't in my own kitchen. But approximately 3 days after I arrived in Canada, I started to develop a kind of infection around my mouth. It started with a cold sore-like looking thing on my lip. Then the next day got a little bit worse, progressively worse. 5 days after it started, I had to be going to the emergency room because I don't live in Canada, and Canada is public health care. I cannot go to see a regular doctor there because I don't have a health card there, right? So anyways, what happened was I got this rash around my mouth, and initially when I initially said I need to go to the doctor, it started to really swell up. I had huge lips, like we see these images of people when they are having an allergic reaction to something. That's what I looked like, these really big fat lips, and it was sore in my whole mouth region, inside my mouth as well. So of course, thinking about what I could be allergic to, I didn't come to any conclusions. I was really eating mostly good food from my parents' garden. So it didn't occur to me to think about any, or not didn't occur to me, nothing came up that could have been an allergy for me. Um, and anyways, the first time I went to the doctor, they told me that it was something called a staph infection, which is actually 30 different types of bacteria that fall under this category. And they're very strong antibiotic resistant bacteria. So we have to be very careful because they are so strong and so powerful. Even taking antibiotics, they can and fight that. So anyways, at the initial diagnosis, I had gotten antibiotics and it was a very strong one. And I'm generally avoid these kinds of medications, but sometimes it is necessary for us to have these in our life. So I took this, it was basically two different strains of antibiotics put in together into one pill. I took that for 7 days and I did see improvements by the third day. But unfortunately, by the third night, it started swelling more and it was coming into under my jawline, my cheeks. The rash was creeping up my face and also coming down my neck. And it started weeping, or kind of like oozing out stuff. It wasn't pussy or discharge like a yellow, thick, gooey discharge like snot or phlegm, but it was weeping and almost like tears coming off of my entire face, just about. So that had been happening previous, but it got really intense that night. The next day, I had to go back to the hospital and get more attention because it was not getting better, and my face was really burning and feeling like it was on fire. So at that point, the doctors were really questioning what was happening. Some of them said some different ideas. They still weren't really sure, still questioning, do I have allergies? Is it this? Is that? They still said, keep taking the antibiotics to complete it. If it is a staph infection, we need to get rid of that. So I was doing the best that I could from the doctors. And I also got steroids, a steroid pill at that point, and a cream because it was just so intense. And I really, again, these are things that I don't like to be taking. I don't take easily or readily, but sometimes we need them. So out of a dose of 5 pills for steroids, I only took one the first day to help just release the inflammation. And then after that, I really said, okay, I have to be more strict with myself on my healing because I was already healing. So I continued to put even more effort into what I could do myself. And I didn't take the rest of the steroids because I don't want that in my body. I'm not recommending anybody else to do anything similar. You got to do what you feel is right for yourself. At that point, actually that night before I had gone into the ER that day, I the only thing that I could do to help me get through it was focusing on my breath. And that's what I wanted to share this story with you. I don't want to just come here and share the story in terms of like telling you what I've been through and my health issues. But even as a person who does her best to take care of her health, we still have the opportunity to get unwell, to get infections, especially when we're traveling and our immune system is affected and we're in contact with a lot more things. So, yes, what really got me through that initial night of extreme pain and extreme discomfort was breathing. And that sounds maybe kind of silly, but actually, our breath has the ability to really move a lot of energy through us and to help us process. So, I was also like ice packing my face because it was so sore and so burning. But I realized at one point I'm probably like freezer burning my face. I'm actually burning my face with the ice because it was so intense. But anyways, that's besides the point. The point was, or the point is, my breath. I was just continuously counting my breath. Inhale. I was going to 6, inhale, exhale, 6 out, and just repeating. And even when I did sometimes the ice pack, I would be like 6, inhale, and then exhale, and I would move it here, and like inhale here and move it. But this process helped my mind and helped me get out of the state of the pain that was going through on my face. So I'm sharing this with you because our breath is often overlooked when it comes to a healing aspect of what we can do. And it is an absolute must to think about our breath when we're really going through things. I mean, obviously, when we become more mindful and we think about our breath more often on a regular basis throughout the day, this is also good and beneficial for us. But especially when we are going through some type of stressful or infection or something is happening in our body, really focusing on our breath, this helps us move through. That was the number one thing that helped me get by. And the second was nutrition. And now I primarily speak about nutrition, especially because mostly I do my videos in my kitchen. But there's a time when our breath is more important than what we eat, actually. Because when we think about the first thing that is going to take us out of this planet, it's our breath. If we don't have our breath, that we're gone in a couple minutes. If we don't have food, we can actually go quite a bit longer. Even there's been some gurus and yogis and monks that have gone even 40 days or probably even longer. I'm confident, not probably. I know there's people out there who have gone longer without food and are healthy and survive and do very well. So the first thing we need to focus on is our breath, right? Second, I focus on nutrition. And at that point, I decided to do a fast. I did one day a complete detox. No, it was complete water. And this, again, it's not recommended for everybody. I'm not sharing this for you to tell you this is a protocol to do if you do get an infection. All I'm saying is that these are different options that we have to work together with, or when we incorporate Western medicine that might be necessary to help the healing process, but also we have these healing tools always available to us. As long as you're alive, you're breathing. Using our breath to help us, using the nutrition to help us, and nutrition in terms of also not eating, stopping. Because as long as we're putting food in, our body has energy to consume, the digestive system has to work, everything is consuming and working, and energy is moving around, right? When we stop putting stuff in our mouth or take a break, our body doesn't have to do that digestion anymore. The energy isn't used there. And then it starts to eat first the old or dead decaying cells in our body, which is what we want. We want to get rid of that garbage. And then the healthy cells can thrive and grow more. So we really want to think about these factors. And that's where like a healthy detox is important. And like I say, I did the first day, I did 2 days of proper detoxing and fasting. The first day I did just water. And I had a couple other things in there. Like honey, for example. I had a natural honey because this is antibacterial, antiviral, this kind of thing, a very good source. And of course, I was having also black salt or an Ayurvedic bamboo salt, something like this as well. It's a very high rich mineral content. And the second day that I was fasting, I drank just the porridge water. I made a barley kind of soup, almost you could say, but I didn't eat anything. I only drank the water from there. And that helped. It's kind of like slowly breaking the fast, and continued with the honey that helps also for the liver, to help to calm the liver, because the liver is very angry in this state of having an infection and having to deal with something that's so aggressive. And then also I did still the mineral salts. And when I did those 2 days of fasting, I absolutely 100% saw a great increase in my healing because my body was able to do what it knows best, right? And we have to just give it that chance. When I started eating again, that is when I started to really implement all the tools and all the information that I know. I had to put everything into practice, and I went 100% back to intermittent fasting. I hadn't been very strict with that over the last 6 months, I could say, even. And I wanted to get back on, so this was my kicker. So it was the simplest version of how I was following intermittent fasting was following an 8-16 window. So eating hours is for 8 hours. You have your breakfast, lunch, supper, or your meals, your snacks in that 8 hours, and then you have 16 hours until you eat again. So there's 16 hours fasting. Basically, it's if you think of you're eating your breakfast at 9 a.m. and you finish your last meal by 5 p.m., something like that, an 8 hour window. And really committing to that, because again, that's intermittent fasting. That's a type of detoxing, a soft fast for our body throughout the nighttime and the evening hours. And it's important, if you are doing intermittent fasting, just a little side note, do your best not to eat your last, like that 8 hour window. I heard some people saying they start at 2 p.m. Oh, that's really late. That's really late because that means you're going to eat your last meal really late. But anyways, we can have another live on intermittent fasting. Let me know if you're interested in that because I can go down that road. So it's better to have, anyways, the eating hours are in the daytime, full daytime sunlight hours. That's the best for our body. Yes. And the third practice that really helped me to manage and mitigate and help me heal was Reiki. I didn't always sit like with my hands in front of my face. Sometimes I did. I laid in bed. I couldn't lay down because when I laid down, my mouth got more swollen. So I had to sleep sitting up. So sometimes I would kind of prop my arms up with a pillow and I did Reiki right to my face directly. But also, as you learn Reiki, as you do it more often, you just become the Reiki energy and you can get into that space without having to actually channel it directly through your hands, especially if it's for yourself, right? So I was just doing my best through my breath, through my mind work to really be in that Reiki energy as much as possible. Those three things helped me get through it. So my mind didn't go insane and it helped my body to heal. I knew that I was healing, and it was interesting because there was other people that would look at me and they would see, oh, I don't know, is it looking better? They'd be all, inspecting me from what they could see on the outside. And it was interesting because sometimes people be like, oh, you're looking better. And it felt so bad that day. It was hurting or it was burning or something. But I thought, oh, thanks, oh, thanks for your opinion. But it still really, really hurts. Or sometimes people would be like, oh, it's looking worse. But I knew that was part of the healing process, that I was getting better because of the studies that I've done and the healing that I've done. Healing is not linear. It's not only we're sick and we go straight to this next point and we're better. I often have seen this in my own healing journeys and through my clients as well. Healing is really, we go up and we hit a point and then we come back a little bit, and we go up and we come back a little bit, but we keep going. When we are consistent with the practices that we're doing, whether it's medicine that we're taking, and medicine can be something even like black salt. This is also medicine. I'm not speaking medicine just from a pharmaceutical perspective, or honey. This is also medicine, right? These kinds of practices, when we're consistent with the healing practices that we do, sometimes it looks like and it can feel like we're going backwards. But the point is, keep doing it, because you will eventually see the results. And if you keep doing it for a month, for goodness sakes, and you don't see the results, maybe there needs to be a shift, okay? That's another reality. But the point is, when you're doing good things that are helping your body to make them better, to make yourself better, we need to have that consistency. It's not taking that pill and everything goes away. It doesn't work like that. And it's often also not just pinpointing one factor that causes the infection or the situation to take place in your body. We really just need to let go of this hang up that we have on finding what's the 100%, this is the only cause, and we got to just eliminate that. For example, people saying like, I had an allergy, and they're like, oh, or there, some doctors had said maybe you have poison oak or poison ivy because it was weeping so much. So they said, did you go into the bush? And I said, yes, I had been in the forest. But I don't think that was the case. But then there was people who came back to me. They're like, "Oh, you better stay inside all the time. I guess you can't go back into the bush." Where I live in Canada, where my family is from in Canada, we're really countryside, and there's a forest just behind our house. So I go there often. That's a place that I love to go. That's a healing place for me. When this person said to me, "I guess you can't go back into the bush anymore," I said, yeah, that won't be happening. That's my healing. That's a healing space for me, which is actually another one that I didn't realize when I was thinking about this video about how to the different things. So I had breath work, nutrition, Reiki, and also forest bathing. This helped me a lot. Being in nature, being surrounded by nature, having that fresh air to breathe in, and just feeling the beauty of nature around me really helped support me. So I am still healing. My mouth is still getting better. The skin is still dry around here. I have to apply cream on it regularly, and I'm still taking a tincture to help me completely get rid of this infection because it is stubborn. And I am still doing as best that I can the nutritional applying all the nutritional information that I know, continuing with intermittent fasting, continuing to eliminate sugar as much as possible. These things do not serve our body, especially when we're in a healing state. So I hope this video finds you well. There was something else I was just going to say. It came and it went so quick. Yes, you might be thinking I didn't mention yoga, because I do mention yoga a lot in a healing, in a holistic way. I wasn't able to physically do a lot of yoga poses because I had this topical situation that was swollen on my face. Putting my head down, for example, felt uncomfortable. I felt the throbbing, and everything was worse then. So I didn't do physical poses at that time. I really pulled back and did my best to uh, conserve my energy, and like I say, used it with the other tools that I already mentioned. But here's the interesting part. Many of us think of yoga as just the physical postures or stretching, that physical asanas, but actually yoga has a lot as well to do with the way we breathe and our mindfulness. So there's many factors that actually come from my yogic training that I was able to apply as well, that were not only the specific yoga poses to do. So yes, it is all helpful. If you are interested to learn more about any of the things that I mentioned here, you can definitely write it in the comments. You can leave any questions that you have about what I may have come across, because it's still a learning process for me. I was surprised that this happened to me. The doctors also, all the questions they asked, we could not pinpoint anything, like I say, allergies. If I had a lip injection, for example, to this lip filler, nothing like that. I had no scrapes. I'm not immunocompromised. I don't have diabetes. I'm not a healthcare worker in terms of being in a hospital setting. These are more common factors for people to get it. So I still am not entirely sure how and why this came into my space, but it did. And I'm grateful for the healing tools that I had to help me get by, because without them, I'm pretty sure I'd be a stressful mess. Because being able to calm my mind helped to calm my body down, and that's part of the process. We need a whole package when we work on healing. So yes, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I am planning to be in here more often now that I'm back in my home in Lithuania, and that I am also feeling better and able to move my mouth more and speak freely and smile easily without hurting. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. And yes, I'll be in touch. See you soon. Bye bye.